For those who can stand, please stand. Stand up if you are a current or former international student or a person without permanent resident status. Okay. Keep standing or stand up if you've ever faced discrimination on the basis of your race, your religion, your gender, your sexuality. Keep standing and stand up if you've ever been mistreated by your employer, not paid wages, or have faced abuse at work. Yeah. Stand up if you're worried about the future, right? Many of us are grad students here. Stand up if you're worried about employment, about where things are going with our economy. Keep standing and stand up if you've ever joined an action or want to because you know that there's something fundamentally wrong here. I see every person in this room is standing for those of us who can stand. This is the experience of current and former international students of migrant workers who are not only at the forefront of being impacted by these crises, but are every day fighting back. And I think the Najwan Support Network is such a clear example of this, right? This is the story of our members at the Migrant Workers Alliance for Change. You can all sit down now. 16 years ago, a group of migrant care workers from the Caribbean and the Philippines met because they were being abused by their employers. Their employers were keeping their documents. They were also facing a lot of exploitation from recruiters, which Migrante was at the forefront of fighting against, and they were also facing issues with permanent resident status. One of them was around medical inadmissibility. This is when Canada says that you're too sick to get permanent residency. Canada also says that you can be too poor to get permanent residency, financial admissibility. Canada also says that you might not be able to get permanent resident status because you are a fake migrant. We saw this very clearly in the Morcha last year about how those laws get used against us and how we can also fight against them. These care workers came together and fought and won massive changes to recruiter laws and medical inadmissibility laws that today still impact our people. And they didn't stop there. They met with other temporary foreign workers who are working in agriculture, the people who grow and harvest our food, with other temporary foreign workers who are working in key industries like the restaurant sector and cleaning, what during the pandemic were hailed as heroic and essential jobs, but today are being deemed as low wage and therefore unwanted jobs. They came together and started to organize and continue to organize these groups of women and racialized people. And together they formed what today is the Migrant Workers Alliance for Change. That's 16 years ago. I want to share the story of not only what we're struggling with, but about the need to fight against it. Our organization is called an alliance because that's precisely it. We organize in different sectors of based on the kind of immigration programs that we've come under or the kind of work we're doing, but we organize as one unit, as a collective, as one voice, one heartbeat. And right now, more than ever, when so many of us are under attack, not only migrants, but everyday working people in this country are under attack, whether you're a migrant or not, whether you're racialized or not, now is the time, more than ever, to be in solidarity with each other. And solidarity is only formed in struggle itself. It's not one that's taught or learned, although that's very important too, to do that kind of social investigation, but it's formed in struggle. And that means things like being on the front lines to support the people who are holding it down in Brampton, joining the international students who are fighting against wage theft, joining the farm workers who are talking about how they're being paid, not being paid after working 16 hours a day or being told that they have to go home if they're injured. Now is the time for us to be in solidarity with each other, and I'm really looking forward to, in this panel discussion, talking about some ways to do that. How many of us here are worried about the grocery prices? Yeah, a lot of us worried about how we're going to pay for tuition fees, which may go up now, right? As the provincial government is saying, okay, we have no money now, right? And kicking the ball down the road, even as they turn a blind eye to the fact that the president of this university gets paid $500,000. Many of us are struggling, and yet the people who have created the system, as Hannah and Javier have kind of detailed so well, they're actually not struggling. In fact, they're making revenue off of our precarity, off of our shared crisis. And the numbers prove it. Every day in the news, we see more headlines about how it's international students who are, stealing jobs or responsible for the housing crisis. But the numbers show it themselves. The three CEOs of the three biggest grocery chains in Canada in 2023 made a profit of $3.1 billion. That's what these grocery chains made a profit of. While the rest of us, the majority of us, go to the checkout lane and end up not buying some of the things that we have put in our basket because we can't afford it. They individually, as people, pocketed $11 billion in revenue. So we have to understand that right now we are being told that it's somebody else to our left and our right who are responsible for these crises, but it's really not. It's the people, and we have to resist and reject all urges to punch down or punch to the side, and we have to punch up together. This is a classic tactic of divide and conquer, which is that you are being told that immigrants and racialized people are responsible, and that's why we have to do things like implement these massive cuts, right? We know this is going to get bad, and I've made eye contact with a lot of you here. We have glowing eyes because I really see the desire for us to do something here today. And it starts today. It starts right now. It starts 1 hour after this panel for us to be in action together. And there are very specific things. All of us brought some flyers because we're all action oriented. There are very specific things we can do. But I want us to also really remember that every day our people are fighting back. We are fighting back, and we're doing it with dignity because we're not numbers. We're not data on a page or media stories. We're full people with lives here, who built our homes here, who have deep roots here. Everybody, someone you know or love or work with or study with is a migrant in this country, and that's our reality, and it's in our collective best interest, in our collective best class interest, to punch up together and hold the people who are profiting off of our misery responsible. And I know we can do it, and we've done it before, we'll do it again. Thank you.